I'm Michael Marr. I'm here with Nicholas Dodona of the Boston Sommelier Society, and we're here to talk to you about probably one of the biggest misconceptions at the Wine Expo, and that's just walking up and taking a taste of wine. Now, there is a bit of a science behind tasting wine, and we're here to expound upon the 5 S's. Nick, when we start out, we look at the wine. We see the wine, our first S. Why is it important to look at the wine?
Sure, when you're looking at the wine, really the first S to look at the wine, especially with a white wine, it can tell you a couple different things about the wine. First of all, just look at the color. You're just looking how deep the color can be. Wines can range from almost water clear all the way down to a very deep golden color. The deeper those golden colors can be indicative of age or indicative of oak use.
Okay, so now that we've seen the wine, we get a sense of, is it going to be light-bodied? Is it going to be full-bodied? Might it have some age to it? Might it be oak-aged? So now we move on from sight to swirl.
Swirl. I think this is one thing that really is overlooked the most, is swirling the wine. How wine gets its aromas is through oxygen, how much oxygen can touch the wine. If a lot of oxygen has hit the wine can actually go bad if anybody's ever left a bottle of wine open for a while on their counter before. However, you do need oxygen to bring out aromas the minute a bottle's open. So the more you swirl, especially when you first get the wine, the more aromas will be released. But be careful, once you start swirling, you'll swirl your coffee, you'll swirl your water, and everything else.
That's guilty as charged. And it is important this is something you can actually practice at home. And especially with red wines, it's incredibly dangerous because if you decide to wear a white shirt to the expo, if you put on your best, tan suit, probably not the best choice because if you get a little aggressive with your swirling, you'll wind up with some red wine possibly all over yourself. So, an insider tip: wear dark clothes to the expo, just from experience. So now that we've swirled the wine, again, practice at home. It's a very delicate, gentle experience. Now we're going to move on to smell. And this is where now, smelling a wine, initial impression is incredibly important. You're going to smell it. Do I like it? Do I not like it? After that, it's all about what's inside the wine, the fruit, the minerality, the wood. Now we're starting to get down to the kind of flesh and bones of what this wine's all about.
No, really, when you're going through to taste a wine, you're looking for a couple of things. First of all, you're looking with any wine, you're looking for fruit. What is the fruit? Where is the fruit coming from? Is there a lot of fruit in the wine? Secondly, you're looking for minerality. That minerality, is it a stony minerality? Is there less minerality in the wine? And then lastly, you're looking for wood. And when you're moving on from there, you're actually moving on to tasting the wine. If you ever notice anybody with some experience with wine, we tend to slurp a lot. And there's actually a reason behind that. Well, there's 2 reasons actually. When you slurp, it aerates the wine. So you're spritzing the wine all over your palate. And believe it or not, anywhere you have receptors or everywhere you have receptors in your mouth. From your cheeks to your gums, even your teeth themselves can help interpret the wine. And as you're just slurping that wine in, you help to spread the wine around to all parts on your palate. And also, along with swirling, you get a little bit more oxygen contact. So you're being able to experience the fruit, being able to experience the minerality of the wine, and also being able to experience the oak, the acid, whether wine really makes your salivary glands really work into overtime and makes you want to get another sip. So to experience all of those different things and to think about them helps you fully experience each wine.
And I think the experience that we all have is slurping soup with a spoon, and this is something I think that most people have done in their life. And you're just sitting there and you go, and it's cooling down the soup. It's giving you more. It's giving your basically all your taste buds the opportunity to taste that soup. And the same thing goes with wine. We're just doing it out of a different vessel. So this is a little bit tricky. It does take some practice, but if you're not confident slurping and really giving it that oxygenation that can open up a wine a little bit more, just sip the wine very gently, just a very small amount, so you're getting a little bit on your palate, and it's not about just drinking the wine, it's about just getting enough to taste. Because if you're going in and drinking the wine too quickly, you're only going to be able to hit 4 or 5, 6 tables. There are hundreds of tables, hundreds of wines. There's a lot of juice to be enjoyed, and if you're drinking, that brings us to our next and probably most important aspect of the 5 S's, spitting.
You're absolutely right, Michael. And something that Michael said, the Wine Expo is overwhelming. No matter, even if you've been working in wine on a day-to-day basis for years and years and years, there are hundreds and hundreds of wines at the Wine Expo. And if you really want to experience a full, broad range of the wine, spitting is absolutely necessary. And so typically on every table, they'll have buckets to spit. And don't feel, awkward or anything else about spitting, you will actually be able to, you'll be absorbing alcohol into your body just by placing the wine in your mouth. And before your palate starts to fatigue, before you start to fatigue yourself, it's very, very important to be able to spit and be comfortable with spitting, and then to go around the entire expo. One of the things that's very often overlooked at an event like this.
And no one's going to judge you. No one behind the table, when you spit out their wine, no matter if it's a $10 bottle or a $150 bottle, no one's going to judge you for spitting out their wine. In fact, they will actually appreciate it if you do, because if you just walk up there, stick out your glass and say, I'm here to drink your wine, it kind of gives off, why are you really there? Are you there to enjoy the wine, enjoy the experience, or are you just there to kind of drink as much as you can? It's not what it's about. This is about tasting and finding out what's important for your palate. This is one of the greatest educational opportunities you can get, is when you have hundreds of wines lined up side by side. You can taste a wine and say, I like this. You taste the next wine and say, I like this more. Well, why? Well, now you're starting to put everything into context. And the other thing that's incredibly important, which doesn't start with an S, but maybe should, hydration. If you don't drink enough water during the expo, we can get technical about it. The enzyme that helps us break down alcohol requires water to work. If you're not drinking water, you're not able to process alcohol. You're not going to stay, well, unfortunately, at the expo very long, or vertical in that case. We want you to stay there. We want you to enjoy the wine. We want you to enjoy Saturday and Sunday, and we want you to do it in a healthy fashion. So this might be the most important glass you raise over those 2 days. Stay hydrated, but have some fun, because it is a great opportunity. So thanks for joining us. Keep your eyes open for more insider tips to how to approach the Wine Expo. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, Michael. Cheers.